A Black Forest cake.
A what?
A Black Forest cake. And 10 pieces of chicken, large chips, coleslaw, potato and gravy, and 4 rolls.
Oh, can I come?
All this for under $20.
Bradman!
Hello, Mum.
So much food.
So little money.
More cake, Wilbur?
Magnificent finish at Princes Park. Collingwood kicked 6 goals in the final term. Paxman, Saunders missed it. Gafer, Kelly. They won't stop coming, Collingwood. Manson the target. Watson with a fly. Seacamp at the back. Now Watson. Well, he can kick a goal. Goes for it. Roos should take it. Does. And the champion, the captain, who's won the best and fairest 3 times and led Victoria on Tuesday night, goes to half-back. He wants Abbott. Abbott takes the mark. Oh, come on. That was a terrible decision. It should have been paid. Watson over the top. And they ball up. So Shane Harris there in a good position, deciding that right coming over the top of Abbott. Collingwood within 4 points. 3 3/4 minutes remaining. A quick kick away from Armstrong. Lyon has been a little quiet in the final term. Dundas looks for a free kick and gets it. Wood handballed away quickly and then threw his arms out and was impeded. 17-3 for Dundas, and Wind has had 12 and 16, so the little men have been very productive for Fitzroy.
3 minutes 20 seconds to go. Ball on the wing. Monkhorst gets it away. It's out of bounds from his fist and will be thrown in. The clock continues to run.
Paxman should hit it towards the boundary, a little over his left shoulder. Monkhorst should get it out in the open, so it'll run.
Monkhorst behind, right out of mid-air. And again, it crosses the boundary line. Valuable time being consumed now. We're under 3 minutes. And Fitzroy lead by 4 points. They've led virtually all day, but a barnstorming finish from the Magpies. Broderick ran into a teammate. Down went Paxman. They've got every Fitzroy player in sight. Somebody had to be holding the ball. But 3 Collingwood players have tackles or arms up and hold up the jumper on 3 opponents as the ball comes in short from Brown to Manson. And Manson now will kick from right on the 50. I doubt he can get a goal from here. He got 2 valuable goals in that 3rd term. He goes for distance. That's a very good kick. They can test about 2 metres out off hands, minor score. So the margin is 3 points.
Just over 2 minutes left.
Caven has got Dundas if he can find him. Manson with the fly. Well played, Stevens. Left foot though by Collingwood by Fraser. Seacamp, oh, here's the goal. Perth, goal, Collingwood in front.
What about the irony of that? Gary Perth.
Well, Perth had a dirty afternoon. Started at full back. He's moved up onto the half-back line, now at the full forward line, and he's covered himself, or has he covered himself in glory? That's the goal that's put them in front, Collingwood. A series of mistakes. The ball, fortunately, falling into Perth's hands.
Well, it's a game of centimetres so often. An unlucky touch by a Fitzroy defender deflected it from a teammate. And the Collingwood man waiting behind an ex-teammate. Fitzroy now, desperately, with 1:40 remaining, must get the next goal. They trail by 3 points. Collingwood 13-11. Fitzroy 12-14. A magnificent come-from-behind situation here for Collingwood. And it will be a victory if they can last this next 1:25 now. Down goes Lyon. Will be pushed in the back, not according to the umpire. Monkhorst suggesting he was holding the ball. And will have a bounce.
Done a terrific job in the last quarter, Monkhorst.
Marvellous game of football, this one. Here's the bounce then. Paxman with the run, gets it down. Taken by Francis. High kick towards the outer side wing. And from there, it will run out with the assistance of McEwen. So a throw in on the wing inside the last minute of the game. Paxman and Monkhorst will ruck. And we're down to 40 seconds now. Monkhorst back towards the boundary intently, but Broderick in the road.
Left foot, Card with a chance. paid. Too far out to score, you'd think. He's kicked 3. There's 30 seconds remaining. Must go quickly now. Last chance for Fitzroy. What a fitting finish this is. Roos! No, unable. Still an opportunity. Ablett can't crash his way through. Roos' left foot kick is a goal! Unbelievable finish. Oh. Well, you talk about irony. Roos to match Perth. The contest, 13, 14, 13, 11. And gone. If ever a captain has kicked a goal, it was then.
Well, he really did lift himself. He's come down from centre-half back. He's flown over the top of the pack. He just couldn't control it. Abbott tried to take them on, bust the pack, but he couldn't do it. But then Roos in the fortunate position of kicking that left foot snap. It puts Fitzroy back in front. Can they hang on? There's 11 seconds.
It's been one of the great games. No question about that. 10 seconds remaining. Can Collingwood pull something out here? Gale misses. It's ticking. It's ticking. Fitzroy won it. The Lions will win it. Here we go. Well, if ever the character of the club could be questioned and answered, it was today. Because Collingwood gave it to Fitzroy in the last quarter. And if Paul Roos remembers one game from this season, I'm sure it's going to be this one. What a week he's had. Captain of Victoria, and to do that in the dying seconds.
What a terrific game of football. Marvellous game. Played so hard. It deserved a big finish. It got it. And, of course, Perth and Roos. So much was said about them during the course of the week. Close personal friends. It came down to a virtual shootout this afternoon, and that man, number 1, brandishes his fist to the crowd because he had the last say in this game.
Wonderful finish. Dramatic climax for Fitzroy, getting up with skipper Paul Roos booting a goal just prior to the siren. 13-14-92. The Magpies 13-11-89. That, incidentally, was the best on-ground performance by Paul Roos. The win moved Fitzroy at that stage, round 11, 1992, into the top 5. Collingwood, in the meantime, were sitting in second place. We'll take a break and then be joined by one of the greats of the game.
I tipped this.
Whatever you do, do not look into this man's eyes. Britain's most famous hypnotist is here to mesmerize and entrance you. Seeing is believing.
He keeps touching his knee. And what's wrong with that? We won't touch more, will it?
The hypnotic world of Paul McKenna tonight.
Sydney, one of the 7 wonders of New South Wales.
7 wonders.
Sail through lunch on the world's greatest harbour, then walk with the wildlife below. Go shopping in the rocks, where the first settlers did. Then take a taxi to the most spectacular shows in town. And party on all through the night.
Discover why Sydney is one of the 7 wonders of New South Wales on Ansett Great City Deals package, where $239 per person buys 2 nights, including Saturday in the excitement capital, staying in twin-share accommodation. Contact your travel agent or Ansett Australia.
Yardley have created a new range of cosmetics that combine beautiful colour with skin-caring ingredients. Vitamin E and sunscreens, nature's camellia extract to moisturize. Now available, a free mascara with every purchase.
What you got under your body? Sounds like a lawnmower.
Spare tyre, actually. Well, I got fully blown V8 power with racing carpets, Mickey Dars, double pumpers, and a beefy rear end. Beefy.
Wow. Hey!
Beefy. But not as
thick as some.
Get smart. Get Thin's new sour cream and chives.
Yes, folks, there really is a music heaven, and we got it right here on Volume 11. Here's another bunch of 100% hits with Cut and Move. Chakademus and Flyers. Tori Amos. Tevin Campbell. East 70. And as Melody MC, Dee Ream and Dennis Leary, plus a free Warner Brothers Movie World ticket offer with every 100% hits Volume 11.
Wesco Winter Specials.
Where else but Wesco?
Coloured denim and cord shirts, buy one, get one free, $60. Street pants, buy one, get one free, $45. And kids, $35. Heavyweight lumber check shirts, $39.95. Marl lambs or knits, 33% off, now $30.80. Reversible lumber check and wool jacket, $79.95. Stonewashed and black jeans, 33% off, now $40.20. Wesco Winter Specials.
Where else but Wesco?
Oh, wish Alexander would turn his violet crumble down.
Violet crumble. More shatteringly delicious honeycomb smothered in a mouth-watering choc coating.
Now that's shattering.
Violet crumble, it's the way it shatters that matters.
She was the most beautiful star in the world. But behind the glamour lay tragedy and scandal.
You haven't the guts.
Join Michael Jackson and Robert Wagner for the absorbing premiere of Elizabeth Taylor. Tonight on 7.
Welcome back to our No Football Sunday. Plenty to come. Plenty of guests are going to be joining us throughout the afternoon. Our first was a game's record holder for the Richmond Football Club. And sadly, in recent times, things there's sort of divorce proceedings between he and the club. I hope they improve. Resplendent in the Cox Plate, Moonee Valley cap, Kevin Bartlett. Welcome, KB.
Thanks very much, Sandy. You told me it was a very casual day. Come relaxed, you said, just put on your shorts and your shirt and put on a hat. Everyone's going to be relaxed. And
I'm glad you are.
You've got a collar and tie on.
A couple of things I want to talk about before we get down to the nitty-gritty. State of origin football.
Yep.
You represented Victoria on 20 occasions. There's been a lot of talk in recent times, I guess fuelled by Mark Thompson, who suggested the other day that he would prefer to concentrate on club games, home and away. The club came first. Your feelings?
Well, look, I've always maintained that your club always comes first. I felt that I really enjoyed playing for Victoria, and it was truly a great honour. But I think my club always came first, and if I had to choose between playing for my club or playing for Victoria, I would have always chosen to play for my club, and that's not to...
You'd ruffle a few feathers now saying
Well, that's not to degrade state football. It was a wonderful honour. But my whole football life was generated around the Richmond Football Club, and I just think that even if you ask Teddy Whitten, if you were now to ask Teddy Whitten, or even Bobby Skilton, it'd be interesting to ask Bobby later, that
you're going to tell everyone all our guests are.
No, but if they had the choice when they were playing football, and the state selectors said, look, Victoria's playing South Australia today, and at the same time Footscray is playing against Melbourne, or South Melbourne is playing against Collingwood, who do you wish to play for? I personally think they would have said I'd play for Footscray and South Melbourne, because they were brought up also on the club atmosphere. But that's not to say that it wasn't a great honour, and when you play for Victoria, that you give it your best, and it is great to be amongst an elite company of players. But I think this week in the paper it was said at one stage there that what comes first, club loyalty or state duty? I think that answers the question. One's a loyalty and one's a duty.
I want to ask you another serious question. You may think it's stupid because you've probably been asked the question 20 times. The highlights of your career.
It's a stupid question,
It is, and think about it very carefully.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say.
The highlights of my career. I would say, and you think I'm going to say the 5 premierships that I played with Richmond.
I thought they'd be fairly high on the agenda.
Yes. Well, they come second, because the highlight of my career was Junior Supporters Club. That was here on Channel 7. And I said to Gordon Bennett back in 85, 86 and 87, and Gordon, of course, runs the network now, that put this show on at 5:30, and it'll be an absolute winner, lead you into the news, have huge ratings. I think we were rating 29s at that stage for Junior Supporters Club, which was the highest rating show on Channel 7 between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock in its history.
Hey, I've got something for you.
And he sacked us. He sacked us.
I've got something for you. Let us go back. Now, just bear in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this was 7 or 8 years ago. This man, a club record holder for Richmond, he has coached a VFL, AFL club. He's won the King of Moomba, and yet he still has the gall and the temerity to perform like this.
Well, if you ever join Junior Supporters Club, get your form from the VFL.
Oh, hi, kids.
welcome to Junior Supporters Club. Today is the biggest day of my life. Guess what? Sandy Roberts has asked me to go out and interview the Osmond Brothers. You know, the pop group, the Osmond Brothers, Donnie and Marie. It's going to be very exciting. That's why I've put on all my pop outfits today. The hat, the dark sunglasses. I tell you what, if I can get this job in the band, I'll be leaving the shores of Australia and become a big star overseas. The Osmond Brothers and KB. Sounds great, doesn't it? I can hear them. Let's go and find them. Shouldn't be afraid, darling, we're the young ones. Hey, who are you? Kevin Bartlett, Junior Supporters Club. This is the biggest day of my life, meeting the Osmond Brothers. It's fantastic. It's a thrill of my lifetime, and I'd like to join your group.
The Osmond Brothers? We're the Osmond Brothers.
You're not the Osmond Brothers?
No.
The Osborne Brothers. What, you're not in a group? You're not in a band? You're not a singing group?
No, Kev, we're the Osmond Brothers from Fitzroy.
Oh no, not Kevin Bartlett, Junior Supporters Club. We're in trouble.
Cause it's never been beat, and we've never missed it with the girls we meet. The guys go steady cause it wouldn't be right. The best girls home on a Saturday night. I get around, I get around, get around, I get around, I get around. Get around, I get around, yeah, get around, round, round, I get around, get around, round, round, I get around, get around, round, round, I get around, get around, round, round, I get around,
Oh, just one more thing, Kevin.
Oh, and you loved every minute of it.
It was a lot of fun. And
Now, am I
CNN are picking up the old Junior Supporters Club, and they're going to play it on the American cable network.
Was there bitterness when you found that you weren't accepted into a program, perhaps something like Country Practice? Was that a logical step?
Well, no, I wanted my own program to be absolutely correct. And, you know, I hold Gordon Bennett totally responsible for the demise of Junior Supporters.
Well, he dumped it, didn't he?
He dumped it. We had 250,000 members on Junior Supporters Club, and went to air.
And that's not counting the international ones. You remember, of course, we had one major guest. Do you remember?
We did.
Well, can I refresh your memory?
We haven't got him, have we?
Let's have a look at this tape.
Fantastic.
Sir, thank you. Welcome not only to Australia, but to the Junior Supporters Club.
Well, thank you, Sandy, and thank you very much, Kevin, or as you're better known now in the States, KB. It's great to see you. I must say, I've watched your program with a lot of interest.
We sent you tapes originally, didn't we?
Yes, the tapes. I can tell you that sitting at the White House, that Nancy and I quite enjoy them. But now, of course, we have the special satellite dish.
Live.
Every Saturday night, as it is in the States, we enjoy Junior Supporters Club.
Fantastic.
Especially the star profile.
Yes, of course, that's where it all came from. That was, what, 8 years ago the President was able to join us then. He was President of the United States.
Marvellous man.
And is still alive. In fact, only last week he was at President Nixon's funeral. And this is something that you don't realise, and I'm having dreadful trouble here keeping a straight face. But he has decided, with Nancy, to fly down. He's here.
He's here.
Welcome.
Oh.
The President is back.
Oh,
he is back.
Fantastic. Oh,
Welcome, President. Welcome back.
Thank you, Mr. Reagan.
Welcome, Mr. Reagan.
It's wonderful to be here.
We know that you attended the funeral of the late Mr. Nixon and also caught up with the other presidents that are still alive.
I did, and it was good to see Jerry, George, and Jimmy again. And I may be seeing a little bit more of them, too, because...
What's happening?
We're the new 4 directors for the Richmond Football Club. So KB, maybe I might be seeing a bit more of you, but after seeing the paper this morning, perhaps not.
Can I just talk about your time in office, Mr. President? Because you officiated at so many major functions. I guess the one that would stand out for you would be the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles. To have the games in your own country must have been fantastic.
Sandy, it was wonderful, and I remember the opening ceremony very well when I got up there and read my speech. And
that was on an auto cue, wasn't it? A porta prop.
And I remember how it went. I got up there and I said, oh, 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 oh. And one of my aides came up and said, Mr. President, you're reading the Olympic rings.
Actually, speaking of your aides, I know, too, that you were one of the more popular presidents in days gone by and really kept your finger on the pulse, didn't you?
Well, one of my secretaries reminded me the other day when I saw him. He said, Mr. President, do you realize at one stage you were considered the least informed president in the United States history? And I said, I didn't know that.
Can I ask President Reagan, is it true that because Junior Supporters Club has been picked up on CNN and is going to be shown right across the cable network system, that you and Nancy have accepted the role as co-hosts for the program in America?
We will be the international correspondents, KB, and I'm delighted to hear the news that you just broke exclusively there, that CNN is picking it up, and I can tell you that life for Nancy and I would not be the same without Junior Supporters Club, especially those star profiles.
You brought Nancy out with you. Where do you head now? You going straight back to America?
No, Sandy, we're going off to New Zealand for a bit of bungee jumping. Then we'll possibly pop into Honolulu for a bit of body surfing on the way back.
It's good to see you.
It's wonderful to be here.
Thank you, Mr. President.
KB, and the funny thing is, I just saw that clip before. I haven't changed a bit.
No, you have. What about...
You have.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for joining us. All our best to your wife.
And Sandy's changed, of course, because he wears a toupee now, which he didn't do in those days.
You can't even see the join, can you?
No, it's very, very good. It's one of the best ones.
Okay, that's enough. We've got to take a break. We're going to come back with some sanity. We're going to be talking State of Origin with another of the greats, Bob Skilton.
I took this.
I like to get Mummy a beautiful big sailing ship where sails that go right up to the sky.
My mum would like some very fast rollerblades so she could zoom, zoom, zoom around the house. I would like to get my mummy a brand new baby boy so we can all have a little brother.
This Mother's Day, make her feel all warm and fuzzy.
My mummy would really love a new baby.
At Katie's.
Hello there. I've just been baked with an amazing sweetener with 1/8 the calories of sugar. This is the stuff. Splendor. Remind me.
In games for Victoria, our next guest played 25. Could have been more, but he had a couple of problems missing 3 carnivals. Bobby Skilton. Welcome back, Bobby. Lovely to talk to you again.
Pleasure to be back, Sandy.
First of all, you're a selector for Tuesday night's big game because of all the much publicised injuries. There were more again yesterday. Has it been tough for you, for the selectors?
Oh, look, we'd prefer to have players like Mickey McGuire and Robert Harvey out there, but we've got, a bunch of kids that are prepared to have a go. We'll have a very well-balanced side, and we're extremely confident. All those kids they're on their merits. They've earned their place. And look, if we'll have 21 players on the 22 actually. There's an extra interchange, so we'll have 22. They'll have 22.
There's the feeling maybe that a young sort of 18, 19-year-old goer may grab his chance a little more than someone who's perhaps a little older and may become a little blasé with state football.
Okay, Sandy, there has always been the odd player that's been blasé. There's always has been, it always will be. And if those players feel that way, well, we're better off without them.
Yeah.
The Langfords, the Lions, if you'd have heard Paul Roos speak the other night at the state dinner, there's no way in the world that those blokes do not want to play. Certainly they don't want to get injured like Paul Roos did last year, but that's football.
So you're disagreeing with the thoughts of Kevin Bartlett, for example?
I'm disagreeing completely. Certainly, you play football to win a premiership for your club. When you play for Victoria, there aren't any club games on. And to play at the top level, some of my closest friends are the people that I played state football with. And they're the great parts about football. And certainly, state of origin games are wonderful games of football. South Australia at the moment, in the last few years, they've had the best side.
Does that hurt you to say that, Robert?
It does hurt me. And after Tuesday night, well, we'll be on our way back again.
Is that right? Victorious, will you?
That's right.
Well, we'll wait and see. Is there a feeling perhaps then, Bobby, on a serious note, that maybe more time should be allocated? We have a break perhaps of 2 or 3 weeks at some stage in the season and have not necessarily a carnival, but a state of origin series.
I don't think you can do that these days. I really think that club football means so much. The whole thing, the clubs do. It costs about $5 million a year to run a club for the season, and you really cannot have no football for a number of weeks. I think the way they're doing it now, playing South Australia this year, playing Western Australia next year, that is the only way we can do it. And certainly, there'll be a big crowd at Football Park. They, different to our media, they push up the game. They try and get people to the game instead of canning it. If our media had the same attitude towards the game, then we'd look at when we packed the MCG 3 or 4 years ago and had 95,000 or something there. You're going to tell me that the players weren't interested and everything else?
No, but that's Victoria coming off a couple of losses too, then, wasn't it?
Well, those things happen occasionally.
Yeah. Now let's get down to business, and I guess the most publicised whack, if I can use that term, in state football involved two gentlemen by the name of Peck and Sawley. Before I get comments from you, and in fact the true story, let's now have a look at the Peck-Sawley incident with Ron Casey.
And then to South Australia, where Peck, you'll see the incident that results in Peck being the first interstate player to be reported in 10 years. There it is. Not since Coleman and Fries were charged with striking each other had there been such a charge. South Australia and Victorians on that muddy Adelaide Oval. After the match, Peck fronted the South Australian commissioners and he pleaded guilty under extreme provocation.
Well, now, that's very interesting. Before we get the true story, though, shortly after that, you joined Lou Richards and Bob Davis in a panel discussion on that incident. Let's now have a listen to that, and then we'll get the true story of what happened between Messrs Peck and Sawley.
The Peck incident.
Yes.
Would you like to say something about that and tell our Melbourne viewers about it?
Well, there will be a great story blowing up about Peck, of course. He's to go before the tribunal in the morning for allegedly striking one of the players. I feel that there are a good many extenuating circumstances to help Peck. First of all, he had the ball. He was going to take the... He had the mark or a free kick, and just when he slipped over, I think someone, did something to him rather nasty.
Just they kicked him in the tail.
Oh, well, I do say it might have touched him around the bottom of the spine, yes, Lou, when he got up and retaliated.
In temper, I would say, too.
Well, in frustration and in temper, yes, I do.
No matter who you are, you would. Nobody likes being kicked, and I'd say no matter who you are, you'd have to get up.
Did you see the incident yourself, Bob?
We did, Lou, yes, and you just couldn't help yourself.
Oh, gee, the things haven't changed. They still look after themselves, don't they? Now, let us have the true story. Was Peck on Sawley?
No, not in the first half.
Right, okay.
Peck was playing full-back on Bob Hammond, who now is chairman, is he? Of
the Crows.
And Bob Hammond kept ankle-tapping Pecky during the first half.
So Bob was upsetting Peck in that first half.
To no end. Plus the fact that, we weren't exactly setting the world on fire, and Pecky wasn't kicking a bundle of goals. So
did Peck say anything about this at half-time?
At half-time, Pecky was he was over the moon. He was ravable. So I've gone to Bob Davis and I said, look, why don't we give Pecky a run on the ball and get him away from Hammond for a while, and maybe get him a few kicks, and but just get him away from Hammond for a while. He said, why? And I've told him the story. I said, oh, he's going to kill him. And then, well, you saw it yourself. It wasn't Hammond that gave him a little ankle tap. It was Corley. And the funniest part was the tribunal. When you saw that the video, we decided we had to plead guilty. It was a bit hard not to, wasn't it? And
what did he get? 1 week?
1 week, yeah. We pleaded guilty. And the chairman said to me, player skilt, and he said, how would you describe what you saw? I said, Mr. Chairman, it is the best punch I've ever seen on a footy field. And we told the background of the whole thing, but no. And, unfortunately, Pecky's no longer with us, and it was a great character, Pecky.
Bobby, it's great to relive that, and thank you for joining us as a selector. You confident about Tuesday night?
Yes, I am. We've got, as I said before, a well-balanced side with a good blending of youth and kids, and I think those kids will really go out and give them a run for their money.
Let's whet your appetite with some State of Origin footy as we say farewell to Bob and go back to May the 15th, 1984 at Football Park in South Australia. This, in fact, was the first state game under lights. At three-quarter time, South Australia was 12-5-77. Victoria was 13-7-85. There was a crowd of 52,719 there. It was a sellout, and some 15,000 people had been locked out. We pick up the play now with some 11 and a half minutes gone into the final quarter. South Australia leads, but only by 1 point.
South Australia by 1 point. Redden has to go against Tuck. The big fellow's got it. Redden and Johnson. Johnson at the bottom of the pack. A free kick, Victoria. Wayne Johnson, who's been swung onto the ball to kick the Vicks into attack. Big Salmon on the lead now, going towards that player out in front of Parker. Salmon can't bring it down. Filkey taps it cleverly. Anderson gets the kick away back towards Leslie. Leslie can't pick it up. Salmon cleverly. Gary Wilson hooks across. Coming in South Australia now is Naley Platten. It is. Watch him go. Bradley, a long one up. Kernahan at the back of the pack. Oh, what a mark. Umpire James couldn't see the little effective push. Kernahan has marked the ball. 30 metres out, right in front. Have a look at this. Kernahan stood his ground beautifully. 10th mark. 9th mark. 10th kick. Kernahan from 20 metres. Right in front. That's it. Kernahan, 9th goal. Unbelievable performance by the youngster. 15-8 to 14-7, and just listen to the crowd go mad.
South Australia playing better now than they ever have this evening. Gary Wilson's kick, not good. South Australia's got a bit more run. Bradley is a little star. Put it up for Kernahan. How good is he?
At the centre bounce now, and the 50,000 plus roaring their head off. Redden against Madden. Redden tap away. Naley gets the set. Watch him go. Long handball up towards Platten. Platten will need backup support. Gives it back now to Dwayne Russell. Has a flying shot. Way wide and handsome, and that's out of play on the full.
Gee, Dwayne Russell, I think he was aiming for the golf course on that occasion. Nearly found it too. Bill Curley's in there somewhere. Would be a very concerned gentleman at the moment. So would Alan Jean. No mark. McIntosh, the hairball comes out. Well smothered by Tuck. Tuck is caught. A high tackle. Well, Moriarty was pretty close to the action. Michael Tuck's got the free kick. Played reasonably well for the Vicks. This will be his 14th kick. Peter Moore, Greg Phillips, or Victorian player pushed out. Umpire James says, play it on, boys. Phillips down. Dacos pushed over. Haven't seen Dacos for a while. The Phillips handball runs out of bounds.
Dacos hurt his knee in that second quarter, Peter, or third quarter. Hasn't been the same player since.
Yes, Ian, you're correct. I recall it now. South Australia leading by 7 points. In front, Redden used the body. Umpire James said illegally. Madden.
Plays it on with the big left foot. Out comes Salmon. In front is Phillips. Oh, he's being paid. Didn't have a lot of it.
Oh, that was a mark, Peter. The crowd don't like it.
Well, we'll have a look at it in replay. I don't think he had a great deal of it. Yes, he did. He had enough of it. It's great to be able to see things twice in, isn't it? The umpires haven't got that advantage. Kick number 9 for big Paul Salmon. He's kicked 4-2. Oh, he ran in close to the man on the mark. Very close to a big score. It has just snuck through. 5 goals, Paul Salmon. And the Victorians jump back. 15-7 to South Australia, 15-8.
Oh, I tipped this.
We're past the halfway mark of the last quarter. Mick Redden up very high. Dwayne Russell, strong as they come. Neil Craig ran past the ball. Cunningham, Buckley, here's a go for Victoria. Wayne Johnston, the little dominator, takes off. Kicks long into the teeth of goal. Just touched, in fact, by Filkey, who made great ground. And the score's once again level here at Football Park.
What a game of football. Almost 16 minutes into the final quarter. Parker to boot South Australia back into attack, or back into play. Phillips behind. And the umpire has seen a free kick there, going to Victoria. Gerard Healy. Salmon on the lead. In there is Parker. White getting back as well. Good mark, Victoria. Well taken, Peter Dacos. He used his experience to edge the South Australian underneath the ball. And the Vicks have got a chance now to take the lead. Dacos. Kick number 12. Oh, that's a shocker going right across the face of goal. And Phillips lets it go out of play. And the penalty free kick. Redden off, Johnson off.
Redden appears to have an injured knee. Johnston making ground now. The play on was to Phillips. Phillips puts it very wide. Anderson in front. Motley breaks through. Back towards Anderson, but Gerard Healy intercepted. Players everywhere at the moment. The handball comes out. Looking for Bernie Evans. Wayne Johnston getting kicks now. Dummies beautifully. Clever footballer. The kick on the way. It's going to bounce just outside the square. Hits the umpire, and Victoria now hit the front. 15-9, South Australia, 15-8.
Well, there's players with some socks down now, Peter, but geez, so they ought to. The pace has been unbelievable. A long kick by Parker. Johnson thumps away, back towards the half-ball line. Dacos holding the ball. Robin White, one of the best tacklers in South Australian football, has Motley clear, a little bit slow, getting it away to that player. Looking for it, close to the line. Right there with him is Cunningham. Motley gets the ball away, but too slow, holding the ball. Fine tackle by Jeff Cunningham, and he's got it on the half-back line. Cunningham, not a lot of movement now. Off goes Moore, but Cunningham ducks back, goes other way. Madden, Johnson underneath the ball. Edged underneath the ball by Madden, and Big Johnson has got the free kick. Oh, Phillips, here's trouble. That's an awful mistake. Hawkins, short. Going quickly in to get the ball now is Evans, and he's got it 30 metres out. The second time South Australia has made a mistake going for the short kick across goal. Intercepted by Victoria once in the third quarter. And now Bernie Evans has got a chance to kick Victoria 2 kicks clear. 30 metres out. Not a good-looking kick. I think it's just offline. Lucky for South Australia. Not a good kick by Evans. Victoria by 2 points.
Well, there have been 30 goals kicked tonight and only 18 points, so that indicates the players have kicked well, but in fact there have been a lot of easy goals missed. Peter Moore's played a great game for the Vicks. Martin Leslie then should have knocked away. It's easy to say, pretty hard to do though against a man like Peter Moore. Decides to go out very wide. He's found a player, but that's very indirect. Wayne Johnson picking up kicks at will in this last quarter. Had 5 so far this quarter. 18 for the match. The top little player. Kicked a goal in the second quarter. Carlton captain. Taking a lot of time. Oh, he kicked into the man on the mark. That'll be play on. Oh, bad bounce. Back Parker. Salmon got the kick away. In comes Bernie Evans. He's been paid. Go a long way the ball, but the umpire must have got his tape measure out to measure that one. Bernie Evans has the chance now for Victoria. They lead by 2 points. Evans shouldn't miss from there, and he doesn't. Just snuck through his first goal. Victoria 16-10, South Australia 15-8.
Yes, the fresh legs got there first. Johnson's kick-in wasn't a good one at all. But the South Australian defenders led in the race to the ball initially. But the pace of Evans, not a good kick by Salmon. South Australia off to a start, but look at Evans' pace. The fresh legs got there first. Victoria now by 8 points.
South Australia now have the job in front of them. Russell Johnston against Salmon. Not Salmon, Madden. What a great job he's done. Bradley. Still got plenty of movement in those legs. Out comes Dwayne Russell. Up he goes far too early. Jimmy Jess smashed away. The South Australia, though, clearing on that occasion was Steve Bickler. With the run of the ball, Anderson and also Doug Hawkins. He is covering a lot of ground, Doug Hawkins. He's also kicked 2 goals. He's been a valuable player. Left half forward flank for South Australia. Kernahan, number 16. Madden, 23 for Victoria. Madden got it down beautifully towards Buckley. Buckley fell over. Tackles applied. With hair flowing, he's been a little tiger for South Australia this evening, and we've seen another bounce down. Left half forward flank. Kernahan in there. Also Madden. Out of bounds again. And we'll see a ball in.
Half forward left flank. Inside the half forward line. South Australia down by 8 points. The moment of truth for the home side. Kernahan and Madden at the back waiting for it. Russell in there. Boss had an airy. Got another kick away. Bradley with the pace. Right there with him is Hawkins close to the line. And the ball has gone out of play once more. On the full, or is it going to be a full? And the penalty free kick. Ackley gives it back to a teammate. And it'll be Mark Boss. A long one towards centre wing. Madden up, can't bring it down. Tuck off the fingers to the half forward line. Wilson at the back of the pack. Oh, Victoria, what Dacos box now. Heads to the open goal. I think he's missed it. Oh, an incredible miss from one of the most skillful footballers in Australia. No pressure on him at all. And South Australian fans breathe a sigh of relief.
Gee, the Victorians are making similar mistakes to those made by South Australia in the third quarter. In fact, there's a bit of a northerly breeze blowing at the moment to the end to which South Australia is kicking. Flatton was tackled. He didn't have the ball. No doubt about Glenn James. When he sees them, he pays them. Motley, a lot of pace. Doug Hawkins got plenty too. He had dropped it. Holding the man. Depends which way you see them, doesn't it? Doug Hawkins, short, in a space there, taking the mark for Victoria is John Kennedy. Been off and on a few times tonight. 15 metres as well. Kennedy will take advantage of that, and he goes short. Gerard Healy, socks down. He knows how to kick a goal. Lines him up from a long way out. Robin White just collided with the post. I think of better things to collide with. Victoria, 16. Have a look at that. Bang.
Perfect shirt front, Peter.
Very much.
Post didn't move. Parker, a long kick back now towards Phillips. Moore there as well. Madden too. Second grab. Moore can't get it out. He can now. Tuck under pressure. Madden again. Play on is the call. Beautifully read, however, by McIntosh. A long one goes over now to Steve Bickler. Not a good kick. Coming across quickly is Victoria's. That would be Boss. He finds Evans. Evans short. Or bad bounce went against Buckley. In there again. He's hanging on to it a long time, but he got the kick away finally. Madden searching for it. Scoops it out. Chance Evans. A bad bounce goes against him. Flatton back. Evans well done to Johnson. Flatton fighting like a terrier in for the football. And the umpire will come in and bounce inside Victoria's half-forward line.
There he is, the little terrier. He did a lot of hard work then against Wayne Johnston and Bernie Evans. Beat both of them, in the sense that he didn't let either player take control of the ball. 108, plays 98, 10 points in it. Down it comes, Robin McKinnon. Flatton again, he's got the run of it. Steve Bickler wants it at centre half forward. He's in front, the big punch away. Steve Bickler keeps the ball in front of him. Mark Boss also. We see it out of bounds now. Right half forward flank for South Australia. Kernahan comes way down for the ruck work, leaving Roberts in the square. Kernahan with 9 goals has been a superstar this evening. Looks like Healy covering a lot of ground. He might be playing on the ball. I think he's had the occasional run. And now we'll see Grantley Filkey the free kick.
Into time on of the final quarter. Time running out for South Australia now. Almost 2 goals down up towards the half-forward line. Coming in Ackley. Kicked it out into no man's land. Going after it now will be Hawkins, or the bounce wasn't for him. Chance South Australia. Anderson can't find the football. Quickly now through, or South Australian player grabbed with the ball in Bradley. And umpire Argent will come in, and if the players can get up off the ball, do you think there's some tired players out there now? Gary Perth, the Victorian player, the bounce inside the South Australian half-forward line, desperately needing a goal now. Madden gets the tap away, can't find a teammate. Wayne Russell in there, stacks on the mill again, and the umpire will come in for another bounce.
10 points in it. South Australia going to the golf course end of Football Park with the aid of a slight breeze. I guess all players out there very tired. Kernahan up early. Bernie Evans got fresh legs. So is Jimmy Jess. He goes short on the outer side of the ground. Peter Moore completely missed it. Greg Phillips kicks it back with the left boot. Russell underneath the ball with a fine diving mark taken out there by David Ackley. He elects to play it on. Victoria now run it out through Bernie Evans. Back towards centre half back. The pack forms. Jimmy Bitterbley gets the kick into full forward. Mac Parker will mark that ball. He'll play it on as well. Motley, South Australia still running. The kick away, not a good one though. Bernie Evans again. Getting a lot of touches. Not a good kick away though, and Grantley Filkey marks it.
Centre half back. 2 goals clear, Victoria. 15 metres. South Australia won a goal and won it quick. Going well now is Motley. Craig has got the football. 10 points the difference. 2 straight kicks. Craig on the lead now is Kernahan. Good mark. Gee, the time's ticking away though. Kernahan 35 metres out. 11th mark. 11th kick coming up. Has kicked 9. Heads towards the golf course end. Going for his 10th goal. Ball coming back with both goals. 10 goals, Stephen Kernahan. Oh, what a performance. And South Australia 1 straight kick down.
10 goals won, Stephen Kernahan. I can recall back in 1973, Alex Jezelenko kicking 10 goals won for Victoria. What a great performance, Kernahan. He's been the star of the night. There's the mark, and he kicked the goal. South Australia's still in with a chance.
Oh, what a finish. Madden against Johnson. Line ball out towards centre wing. Going through quickly now, Anderson. Up towards full forward. First recover will be Roberts. Can't get it out. Ackley can. In goes Victoria's Healy. And the umpire will come in and bounce the ball inside South Australia's half-forward line. Time ticking away. Over 3 minutes of time on. Could be into the last minute. The next scoring shot could be the last. A bounce ball. Tap away. Wayne Russell tries to get through. Tuck can. High back up towards Johnson. Fine mark. McIntosh. Phillips on the lead. Kernahan with him in view. Can't get it back. Quickly in for Victoria is Hawkins.
Hawkins clears it for Victoria. Desperate they are. Wayne Johnson is caught. Coll. Umpire James said that's holding the ball. South Australia still a chance. Trailing by 4 points. Anderson will have to hurry the kick. There must only be seconds left. A huge kick, Anderson. Kernahan under the ball. He couldn't mark it. Play on, says umpire James. The pack forms and we'll see a bounce. 15 metres from the South Australian goal. What an amazing finish. Can Kernahan kick 11? Can any South Australian player score? Kernahan knocked it over the top. Michael Tuckey played a great last quarter. Put it out to Wayne Johnson, and what a quarter of football he's played.
Johnson will slow the play down. Time is on Victoria's side. 19 kicks Johnson, a long one towards centre wing. Working for it is Phillips and Moore. Moore comes out with it. Victoria going to attack. Up towards the half-forward line, and Motley. Motley comes away with the ball. Quickly in Cunningham, the bounce would aside. McKinnon, Leslie over the top. The ball in Victoria's attacking area. Time running out, 29 minutes gone. South Australia down by 4. What a game of football. Crowd silent when Victorian attack. Moore. Johnson breaking his way through for Victoria. Smothered off the boot. Sacked on the mill. Another bounce down by umpire Argent.
Well, we're past the 29-minute mark. South Australia 4 points down. It's been a top game of football. A big crowd, in excess of 50,000 people have loved every minute of it. Out it comes to Gerard Healy. Here's a chance, Bernie Evans. Hooks it around the body. Paul Salmon underneath the ball. The siren's gone. The mark will not be paid. What a great spectacle here at Football Park. Victoria 16-12 have defeated South Australia 16-8.
Yes, Peter Marker and Ian Day calling all the action from Football Park on May the 15th, back in 1984, back in the days of 2 umpires and also the 15-metre penalty. And great to see Peter Motley in action there for South Australia. I know that the program is going right throughout South Australia and also Western Australia today, so Mott, if you're watching, we certainly wish you well. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to come back to some of the greatest marks you'll ever see. Nostalgia on this no football afternoon. Rather a strange title, isn't it, when we're really packing it in. Coming up shortly, a ripper game from down at Moorabbin. There have been some beauties there over the years. But before that, let's just sit back and enjoy some of the greatest marks we'll ever see.
He picks it right up into the... Oh, Patterson! What a beauty!
He gets a left foot to it, but it's across the face of goal. Right in towards that forward pocket, and a glorious mark to Irwin. Boy went kicking in towards the centre. Right back. Wade from behind his left. Oh, look at
Rock of Gibraltar in defence all day. His kick coming on the member stand.
Look at that. People went off the line. Drop kick. It's got a good one. It's off the side of the boot. It's a battle between Wade. Oh, what a ripper.
To the wing position on the member stand side. Oh, Jesselenko! You beauty! To the wing position on the outer side. Oh, and there. Jesselenko, look at that!
It's a high kick up towards the square. Over the top. Man, what a mark. Going towards Heath. Heath puts the ball down under. Mark by Atkinson.
He's shot across towards half forward for Collingwood. Up they go. Oh, take a mark. This kick is not a good one. Because it goes on. Hughes screws it around. Up goes Moncrief. Once again, the mark.
Touch. Not a very good kick, though, but it's up to... Oh, beautiful mark. What a mark. Oh, ripper.
Right up towards the centre of the ground. Barker, magnificent mark by Barker.
Sit down, looking for Peter Moore. Moore up. Peter Moore.
Goal. Up towards Peter Knights at the back. He's well down towards the full forward zone. Back at the back. Evans' kick up towards Barker.
Robertson kicking up towards the full forward zone. Edwards trying to force his way through.
Kick down towards Glendinning again. Oh, what a magnificent mark down there to Sheldon.
Nice kick towards the centre.
Oh, look at that magnificent mark.
Porter, Wells' kick sailing goalwards into... Oh, look at the shot, mark of the year. The goal. At the back of the bar. What a mark. Particularly late in the game. Oh, look at that.
He folds it, get the ball moving. Madden up high. Oh, what a mark.
Forward. Banks up. Great mark by Banks.
The full forward position. The back is gone. How about that for a mark? What a mark! His kick is not a long one up towards the left half court. Keith the goal cap has got to sit here. And look at him go. What a mark. What a great mark.
It was knocked back. There's a great mark. Is that David Grant?
It is,
again.
No. I don't think the breeze has a lot to do with it, Lou, but whatever there is, magnificent mark to McKee on.
One of the best kicks in the Essendon side. Into the 10-minute spell. What a mark to Ezard. What a mark.
Shaw on the right foot, a high ball. Up the... Oh, have a look at that for a mark. Oh, Brinker.
Long in towards Capper in the square. Capper at the back. Got the sit for mark. What a grab. He loves those from the behind.
He's kicked to half forward. Starcevic. Oh, Silvani!
To the left foot. A quick kick out of defence. It's 2-on-1, and what a mark.
Pity the crowd wasn't bigger tonight. It was worthy of a final-sized crowd.
Whoa! A sensational mark by McCarthy. It's back into their forward zone with a long kick.
To half forward.
What a mark!
Brereton was well held by Laffey, but Abbott has played exceptionally.
Thank you very much.
Centre wing. Oh! Fitz!
From 55 metres, set sail for goal. A long high one. Oh, what a mark!
Rendell hooks it back in front of goal. Here's danger for North Melbourne. Lynch! A brilliant mark over the... Runs this kick inside 50. Huge pack of players. Ablett. Does he come down with that mark? That is an amazing grab.
His kick down towards half-forward flank. Mitchell! Whoa! What a mark, Michael Mitchell!
Dean Rice to half-forward, but Winmar! What a mark!
And Hawthorn just one behind.
Oh.
A lane, a big mark.
Hewitt and Stoneham. Ablett! Great mark! Straight down the centre. Oh, Winmar! Oh, what a mark! Sensational! They're drifting it now to the half-forward line. Ablett will be the player! Great mark! Better. Unloads with the long box. Huge kick. Down towards the strip. Puts it to the magnificent grab. Mark of the back. Who had a good third quarter. Irving. Oh, Somerville! Chance for North. Up towards the edge of the goal square. Allison.
Another opportunity. Simpson's long kick. Kick it!
Oh, what a mark!
He's on the wing and he boots it down towards half-forward. Kick it in this situation.
Oh!
Loves it.
Kick by him to centre half-forward. Oh, what a mark! Fantastic leap by Ridley.
Fantastic stuff as Spawn breaks towards the full forward. Oh!
Well, Lowe goes for goal. Lockett goes early and takes a magnificent mark.
Takes it away. Very prominent early. Oh, right inside! And off the left foot. Oh!
Centering kick.
Mod!
Oh!
What a mark!
Oh! Brilliant. Gives it his best.
Modric! Oh!
That is the mark of the year. Tony McGuinness brings it back. Modric at the back.
Yes, we actually had a task. So they are the very best of the very best. And Tony Modric yesterday, as we saw, certainly up with them. I'll give you a date, the 8th of April, 1989. And we go down the Pearn Highway to Moorabbin. What a game we've got coming up for you after the break. 89, round 2 at Moorabbin, and some 27,792 spectators were shoehorned into the cage. 9:15:69 the Sainters at three-quarter time. The Blues were 10-9-69. Let's pick up the action with some 12 and a half minutes remaining in the match, and the Sainters have gone to a 5-point lead. 50 metres out from the Saints' attacking goal, midway through the term. Low to Winmar. Drag off the kick. It's still good, I think. Just missed. Oh, big roar from the crowd in the grass. Mickey Winmar got it going goalward. You'll see Lockett in his dreams tonight. Silvani. High kick in front to Tory. Coughlin looking for a free, penalised for holding the ball. Gutsy decision. Here's Hannah towards half forward. Kernahan, great mark. Bradley inside, should have gone to Bradley. Kernahan to take this kick, but Bradley was storming inside him, but now 50 metres. That is the 6th or 7th that's gone against Kilda today. 7 of them, and that's a lot of territory.
Yeah, too many, Dennis. He may have been fortunate that the 50-metre wasn't played when he dragged Kernahan to the ground in the first instance.
Steve Kernahan now inside scoring range. If he kicks it, the scores will be level. Carlton will not be denied. It's a good-looking kick. Kernahan. Goal to Carlton.
Well, those 50-metre penalties, Winston could have looked back, and they said that they've given away 7 of those 50-metre penalties. Well, I think they'll be very upset with what has happened, and a number of occasions have missed chances to kick goals also. If they do lose this game, they could say, well, they can only blame themselves.
Scores back level. Bounce favours Carlton. Bradley thumps over the top. Burke is there. Caught in Nailey's tackle. Madden. They put it down, but nobody had hold of it. The umpire's going to ball it up. Well, Carlton really fighting for their reputation here this afternoon. Looking for their first win of the season to bounce back from last week. Comes to Brown. Rice juggles a mark. Haven't been in attack for a while, St Kilda. Good long kick by Rice. Sartori climbs, punches down, goes to Hannah. And he dashes away from them, Millham Hannah. Great play to Glasgow. Wide it comes to McKinnon. Quickly to Dorotich. He took a while, but gets it up to Madden. To the front, Johnston to Madden. He went backwards, Justin Madden. McKinnon 40 metres out, right in front. Gleeson. Wide of the mark. Grant first there, but it might beat him out of play. And I thought Carlton were going to do better than that. Throw in about 20 metres around from the behind post.
Bit lucky St Kilda there. Madden coming back towards the middle. Slowed their progress. He wins it down to Nailey, trying to make amends. Back towards full forward. Madden was up again. It falls to Craven. Now an opportunity for the Saints. Counter-attack. Rice with the run of the ball. McKinnon's after it. Rice on centre wing towards half forward. Carlton have got the numbers. Through the hands of Hunter. Harvey. Flung. Reece Jones. Tries the bump. Great desperation in there by Bowie. Spills out. Eventually is worked towards the boundary by Bradley. Well done by McKinnon. Got rid of Rice. This is Kennedy. Kernahan. It went the distance. Nailey. Down towards half forward. Carlton working hard. Too much carry on the kick. Over the head of Dorotich. It bounces out of bounds in the pocket.
Wrong option also. Should have centred the ball instead of going into that pocket.
Scores level. 30 metres from goal. Madden palms down. Chance here for Craven. He's done well in his second game of VFL football. But on the chest of McKinnon, who's also playing his second. Up towards full forward. Madden with all the height. Dorotich in front. Off hands to Madden. A snap. Through the packet goes. Grant's back there. Sheldon as well. Hurried kick out of defence. Daniels. Clever. Goes for the boundary line with a clever kick. He was a schoolboy footballer last year, and that's...
Kept his head remarkably well. Jason Daniels. Boundary throw in on the outer side. Harding has tried hard for the Saints. Sartori over the top though. Nailey coming into things in this term. Coughlin going back with a flight at the ball. Daniels dragged off it. Murphy to Gleeson. Gleeson, long kick down towards full forward. Dorotich, great courage. Dropped away from Madden. This is Bode with the run of it. The Saints have got a spare man on this side of the ground. Bode uses him too. And he fell over to Rice. Bode comes back. Well played. Bode from centre wing. Sartori. Carlton getting the numbers back across half back. Reece Jones to Gleeson. To McKinnon. End-to-end football. McKinnon back towards centre half forward. Harding couldn't control it. Opportunity for Grant. The Saints have got the numbers. Johnston tries to knock it out. Coughlin gets it across to Daniels. Glascott can pump it back in. Glascott. Long kick. Madden the target. Up he goes. Couldn't hang on. Falls at his feet. Big scramble. Turner wrestling with Dorotich. Dorotich comes out holding his head. And the umpire will bounce it.
Yeah, how tired must some of these players be? Danny Frawley. And for the first time today, Jamie Lamb comes onto the ground for St Kilda to replace Dean Rice. Darryl Baldock hasn't used his interchanges until the fourth quarter. Murphy, straight through. Oh, he had it for a fair while. Gleeson, no distance with that kick. Still a chance for the Blues, 30 metres out. Nailey over his shoulder, puts the Blues in front with that one. They're doing all the attacking. Lockett hasn't seen the ball for about the last 20 minutes.
There's the kick in. Low. This is Fode. The Saints have led just about all day. Carlton lead now. The business end. Towards Lockett. Second attempt. Play on is the call. Play on. No, he's giving it free kick. Oh, gee, that was interesting by the umpire. He was calling play on for a long time. So the tackle on Lockett, after he'd claimed the mark, was deemed illegal. Lockett, 30 metres out. He's kicking at his 9th. 9 last week. They need 9 at least this afternoon. It's good. The Saints are back in front.
Oh, that's the run they needed badly from Kilda. It's put them 5 points in the lead again, and a great display again from Tony Lockett. He's been starved of opportunities in this last quarter, although he's kicked 3 goals. The ball's been on Carlton's forward line for most of this last part of the quarter. And now let's see what Carlton can do, whether they can get back in front.
Nine goals, 7, Tony Lockett. Wayne Johnston has left the ground again for Carlton, replaced by Strott. Harding gets the hand pass away to Daniels. Goes long to full forward. Lockett there again. It clears him. The whistle's gone. It's a Carlton free kick to Silvani. Got to come back to Stephen Silvani. Lockett has had 17 kicks, and Silvani coming up for kick number 12. It's been a great contest between the two champions, but you'd have to say Lockett has won the points. Gleeson puts it wide for Bradley. Playing in a district cricket final 2 weeks ago, Craig Bradley. Off the left boot. Chance, Carlton, and Madden's got it on his chest right in front. Madden kicked 2 goals in the second quarter. And a straight kick here, right in front and about 43 metres from goal, will put the Blues back in front. What a game of football. 5 minutes left on the clock. And a vital kick for Justin Madden. He's kicked it. Oh, it just got away at the end and missed.
It looked good up the boot too from Justin Madden. Very confident kick, but that wind must have dragged it just across at that last moment.
Sheldon against his old team. Must be a free kick in front for Winmar. And listen to that crowd. Mickey Winmar at left half back with the free. Inside the last 5 minutes now. 4 points. That was the margin last season on this ground. Carlton won that one. Winmar tumbles a kick. Dwyer couldn't mark it. This is Reece Jones. Flash shot, Carlton the trouble. Play on the call. Gleeson back to Reece Jones on centre wing. The Saints have got the numbers. Reece Jones should have kicked. This is Coughlin. Cunningham keeps it in play. Cunningham, shocking kick. Exposes the Saints now. Bradley takes the mark, midfield. A tired kick from Cunningham, no question. Bradley down towards the 50-metre line. Frawley couldn't mark it. Craven, fumble. Murphy, 30 metres out. Kick the goal. The Blues lead.
Oh, Jeff Cunningham's got his head down. There's no wonder there. He did the good hard work on the boundary line. And then inexplicably went across the ground. And he should have just forced it down to the forward line any way he could.
Cunningham's been moved up onto the wing, and I'd suggest he's pretty tired for that role in this last quarter. Lamb's gone to the back pocket.
Fraser Murphy has kicked 2 goals in this last quarter. Carlton have only managed 3. The Blues in front. Comes to Winmar. Aimed for a big long kick. Didn't quite get hold of it. Kennedy in front. Spragg will take the free kick. Carlton by 2 points, and we've got under 3.5 minutes left. Bradley in front. Takes a good mark. Carlton haven't had the lead hardly all day, but they might lead it where it really counts at the end of the match. Gleeson finds Kernahan in between the wing and half forward. Stephen Kernahan goes for distance. Dorotich is down there. And mark! No, umpire said play on. Oh, they didn't hear. Well, they just waited for the decision. Naily had it. Comes to Sheldon. Short of the wing. Kernahan, a big climb. And the skipper coming good when he's required.
2:40 with the clock running down, remaining in this game. Kernahan started brilliantly. Goes for distance towards the pocket. Madden, did he interfere? Play on is the call. This is Fode. They bring it away again. Harding gave him the hand pass. Midfield to Tory. Clever hand pass. Glasgott's away. Forward of centre. A high kick. Turner battling with Madden. Wide of the pack, an opportunity for Lamb. They've got the numbers, St Kilda. 3-on-1. Dorotich is working manfully. But Coughlin comes away. Gives it to Sheldon. Sheldon's kick comes towards centre wing, but the mark is taken by Reece Jones. Goes in short. Gleeson. Inside 2 minutes now. Adrian Gleeson on centre wing.
What a test of the nerves this is. Scores were level at three-quarter time. If anything, Carlton kicking into a slight breeze in the last term. They lead now by 2 points. Glasgow using up time. Up to half forward. Kernahan the only chance for Carlton. Lamb sees the ball go out. St Kilda need the ball in play as the clock ticks down to 1 minute 18. Boundary throw in. Lamb to Sheldon. Off the side of the boot, Ken Sheldon. Might be all right for Daniel. He charges onto it. Gives a great hand pass to Winmar. St Kilda a chance. Winmar looks for Lockett. Yes! Well, what a fairy tale this would be. Tony Lockett can win the game and bring up his 10th goal.
How did he mark that?
Well, I thought Winmar had done the wrong thing. I thought he could have kept going and had a ping at the goal.
43 seconds left on the clock. Possibly the last chance for St Kilda. They trail by 2 points. Tony Lockett.
Great stuff in Kilda. They're showing a lot of courage, a lot of character today. And that'll probably do it for them too. With only 22 seconds left on the clock, Lockett kicks his 10th goal in a magnificent solo performance at full forward against Stephen Silvani.
What a finish. Back in the middle. The Saints lead. Can the Blues muster one final thrust? Gleeson goes to ground. Push in the back to Coll. We're down to 10 seconds. Gleeson. It needs a mark. The Saints have got men all around the ball. It falls forward. Naily can't control it. 3 seconds. Ball up. She's all over. The Saints are going to win it. St Kilda have won. At 4 points. Jubilation at Moorabbin. What a game of football.
Almost 28,000 delirious fans seeing Tony Lockett help the Saints to a thrilling 4-point victory, 13-18 to 13-14. Interestingly enough, Lockett, 18 kicks, 13 marks, and he finished the day with 10 goals, 7. But the best is yet to come. The umpires got together and decided in their Brownlow votes, we'll give Brett Bowie 3 and we'll give Tony Lockett 2. And interestingly, Brett didn't get in the best players. Sometimes it's tough to work out. Speaking of Brownlow medalists, one is going to be joining us shortly, and also coming up, some of the greatest plays we've seen in the past 8 years. And having a very pleasant afternoon in front of the tube. Well, over the past 7 years, we've put together something like 44 editions of Plays of the Month. During the week, we got together, sat down and said, right, let's make one compilation tape of the best of plays. And this is what we came up with. Well, we needed an excuse to relive some of the truly great plays, and on this No Football Sunday, we've got it. So, let's get into it. To one of the best cover-ups we've seen, and the Carlton cheer squad wins hands down for trying to hide a somewhat glaring spelling mistake. Remember next time, team, and if they should hang their heads, then so too should the Essendon squad for misspelling the name of their beloved Bombrays. I think they mean Bombers? Seriously, though, the cheer squads do a grand job. Just ask our own effervescent Don Scott. West Coast whingers we are not. Do the world a favour. Get rid of Don Scott. Well, Scotty, when you've got to go, you've got to go. Mind you, that hasn't been the only chief that we've seen, if you'll pardon the pun. As for former Tiger chief Neville Crowe, he was too busy clowning around while trying to score the perfect behind of 1988. Everything seems to be bottoms. While the following year in 89, our cameras again caught Neville in action, this time puckering up to a young Tiger cub. Now remember, the camera doesn't lie, and gossip runs rife within the AFL. Just ask Simon Madden and Nicky Winmar. Of course, there was the rumour about Dermy and Murray Rance. And Dermy again, this time with long-standing friend William Duckworth. To one of the sneakiest goals seen for many a year, and Bomber champion, record breaker and part-time comedian Simon Madden casually walked up to the goal line, querying the angle, and then, blow me down, popped it through. And boy, wasn't the comic happy with himself. While in 1989, Gary Ablett was all class, and his goal against the Magpies was a gem. As I said at the time, oh, he's a light, Gary Ablett, look at this. Here is the magician at work. He shoots towards goal. What more can you say? Ah, life behind the microphone can be grand and so rewarding. Yet it can also prove to be quite embarrassing. Back to Lockett from Greg. Runs into trouble, does the big man. Oh, he's kicked a ripper! Into the post. Ripper into the post. While Dennis experienced what we call in the trade technical difficulties.
How did you go in our Stars of the Past competition? Better than that, I hope.
And I'm afraid we still can't answer that one. The poor old umpies have come in for some harsh treatment over the years, and none more so than Ross Castle. But Ross didn't have to worry. Brian Wilson's a trained fireman. And look, he didn't even have to don breathing apparatus. And speaking of mouth-to-mouth, Ross is lucky that this gentleman didn't have to give him the treatment. Oh, thank heavens for the spectators. Over the years, they've been a valuable contributor to Plays of the Month. We've seen them dressed as nuns. They've run onto the field to give opposition players an earful. They've even resorted to witchcraft and mumbo-jumbo, just in the hope of giving their team that winning edge. Well, some have anyway. The SCG has produced its own special personalities and characters, apart from the first male member of the Swanettes. We've seen the SCG goal umpires time and time again, and of course the very shapely and attractive Swan Tits, who, like a fine vintage wine, keep improving with each passing year. And of course, we were introduced to the legendary Witches of Randwick.
Pete, I believe already they've made a prediction.
Yes, the one on the left in the purple tights has made a prediction that Don will miss the 6 o'clock plane and go back to her plane.
And then there was John Metcalf. Oh, this is great. I've got the family into their wet weather gear. Now I'll just sort myself out. Now hang on. I don't think that's quite right. To some of the strong men of the game, and Glenn Coleman's reputation was enhanced after he sent the point post flying. Miles' shirt front on Ozzy Osbourne was a beauty, and Jim Steins was KO'd by Andrew the Slam Dunkley. And remember the clash between Dermy and Vander back in the 89 second semi-final? While in the same year, one of the more unfortunate incidents, Trevor Barker was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And Melbourne's Jamie Dersma appeared to feel no pain when Craig Bradley accidentally kicked the ball into his face. And you know, Jamie, that was a wet, heavy ball. In 1991, the Adelaide Crows joined the AFL, and we met for the first time the extroverted character named Andrew Jarman, who continues to entertain, as does teammate Tony Modra with his spectacular brand of football, this being one of the all-time great grabs. And Stephen Silvani's mark over Craig Starcevich is equally as impressive. And perhaps impressive is the best way of describing Anthony Black's first-up routine between the vertical beams.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful balance. Oh, lovely routine.
Now that showed initiative, as did this budding aeronautical engineer when he launched his footy record special into the stratosphere during the Vic WA State of Origin crash at the MCG. And what would state football be without EJ Teddy Whitten?
Teddy, stuck it right up them. That's what you did. You stuck it right up them.
behind you. Oh, what a bloody release.
We're on national television.
For our animal segment, we went to the SCGs. Oh, there's a pig on the ground. There is a pig at full forward. It looks like a large white landrace cross.
You're an expert in the field. It's a good thing you're here.
Now to an expert in another field, the former king of pop and champion bathtubber, crooning Peter McKenna.
Oh, have a look. This is embarrassing, isn't it? Have a look. We've gone 10 metres, and this idiot in the boat sunk it.
He's got 10 feet.
Oh, have a look at it.
Oh, this is disgraceful.
Oh, this is really starting to cheese me off. Now, hang on. Maybe if I just make a bit of a hood. Ah, no, that's no good. Remember John Dorotich? Poor old Dora, who after booting the ball a massive 2 metres, tried valiantly to make amends only to be pinged for throwing the ball. Well, Darren Jarman must have been seeing things when he amazingly decided to blind turn. No one in particular. But now, let's return to Anthony Black as he prepares for his second routine. You'll notice the degree of difficulty has increased significantly with the use of both hands, especially during the double reverse flag twirl. And to complete his routine, he shows us the triple diagonal flag filing dismount. Superb! Once again, Anthony has displayed a very polished performance. But not so superb was this goalie, who was under more pressure than usual. A group of Blue supporters thought he'd be a good target for some peanut throwing. Hitch him, hitch him. But hang on, guys. I think that party trick is about to come to an end. We all have our 15 seconds of glory. Has the time come for this young man? Well, after leading the boys in blue a merry gig in front of a packed MCG, he zigs when he should have zagged, loses his footing, and is taken out with a very strong tackle. Oh, don't tell me at last I've made the hood. Now that looks okay, but what about the rest of it? I don't know what to do with it. I might as well just rip it up and chuck it away. I'll tell you one thing's for certain, this is the last time I'm coming to the footy without an umbrella. Just too darn hard. I think I'll just stand here and cop a soaking. And finally, to the most requested and popular item ever to appear on Plays of the Month. The Ode to the Humble Pie. Nothing is more elementary than eating a 4 and 20 on a wet Brisbane day on the 17th of May. Now, just a word of warning. Of course, you mustn't spill the sauce because it's hot and causes pain. While on clothes, it may well stain. So remember, if you can't keep the sauce off your Winchita, you'll fail to be an Aussie pie eater. And wouldn't it be a great crying shame to have to appear in this Hall of Fame? Thank you, sir. Well, that wraps up some of the greatest plays of all time. But a word of warning, the 45th Plays of the Month is due for release next week. Yes, and our thanks to editor Warren Smith. Well done, Wazza, for putting all that together, and he's hard at work at number 45. We're going to take a break. Have you worked out which grand final we're going to come in our No Football Sunday, so I certainly hope you can stay with us. Joining us now is one of the most decorated players, this and the other side of the border that separates Victoria and South Australia, Malcolm Blight, on a weekend off. Malcolm, you'd enjoy it, wouldn't you?
It's
coming in to do all your media work.
It's actually been quite pleasant just watching the footy yesterday and really doing nothing at all with football today.
What about the players? When you get a weekend like this, and you've got, bearing in mind you've got a big game next week, Collingwood, this time next Sunday at the G, what about Cat players this weekend?
No, everyone's gone home. Everyone had the weekend off. Decided some years ago when the bye first came in that we would try this approach, and the promise was that if we got through it and won, we'd keep doing it. So our record after the bye's been very good, and everyone's very appreciative of the rest.
In fact, I think you were the first ones to win after the much talked about, the bye's no good, but you come back and don't know how to win and all this sort of caper, so...
Yeah, no, our record's been okay, so I mean, and the Blokes have, it's a good time for us now, I reckon, to have a bye.
Now, I don't know whether this is good news for you or not, but I've been saying throughout the day we're only going to play 10 minutes of a grand final.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
Stupid idea, is it?
The only thing I knew I'd win today would be a replay of this. How did I know that?
Well, I'll tell you what, we haven't picked up the end or whatever when Gary Ablett was, he was sensational all day. Before we talk about it, let's have a look at the first 10 minutes of the grand final. I will ask you one question. Going into that game, was the Mark Yates, Dermot Brereton clash a plan?
Oh, look, it was just so long ago.
Now, you're being silly.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Was it a plan?
I think Mark Yates said, and Mark Yates was...
you were the coach.
Mark Yates said that Burton had actually run into him in a game we played at Princes Park early in the year.
Yeah.
And Mark Yates said that he saw an opportunity just to square up. And that's what Mark Yates said, and so I think we should stick to that.
Right. So, obviously, you discussed this. It was a plan. Let's now have a look at the first 10 minutes. You're amazing. The first 10 minutes of the 89 GF.
The ultimate prize. Capacity crowd. The grand final. Burke and Dia. Down by Burke. This is Buse. Second opportunity for Buse. Down towards the half-forward line. Ablett's in front.
Very interesting, Dennis, at that first bounce, because Yates came off the wing and went straight for Dermot Brereton. And Dermot's down on his knees, as you can see.
Gary Ablett will go very close from here, from about 52 metres. Long, probing kick. It's home.
Now, this is reminiscent of the final Dermot Brereton down. I mentioned how Yates came through the centre, didn't have eyes for the ball, just went straight at Brereton and has put him down. A bad miss for Hawthorn, because he's the one who can really get them going. Now watch this on replay. You see Yates, there he is, coming off the wing there. He only had eyes for Brereton, then goes over and bumps him again, but obviously he's done his rib.
Very interesting that he had a second crack at him, Don.
Well, they're all fired up, Geelong, and it's an ideal start. It's reminiscent of 1978, when Hawthorn were, on that occasion, Moncrief gold, as Ablett did on that occasion.
It was always going to be on. And of course, that's when a man like Brereton is most vulnerable. When he is running with eyes on somebody else, he's suddenly open.
You wonder whether Geelong's homework has been done, because Brereton has had some problems in that area for maybe the second part of the season.
Well, not so much his ribs, his ankles would have been the problem, Ian. But they've got a couple of players out that are under a cloud, Hawthorn. Now, Anthony Condon was getting treatment earlier in the week. Greg Deere was getting treatment. Scott McGuinness, we know, with the ankle. Brereton ankle, and also Curran. Now, they were getting treatment through the week, so they're not fully fit. Now, Brereton's going down to the forward pocket.
Bounce back in the centre. Deere gets his hands to it. Now Damien Burke's hit towards half forward. There's a free kick being picked out of it. It's going to Hawthorn. It'll go back to Di Domenico in the centre. Umpire asked the player to go back. Maybe it wasn't Di Domenico's kick. It looks as though it may go to Curran.
What a psychological boost that is for the Cats.
There's Burton down in the forward pocket now, but the ball will be taken back to the centre. And the kick will be taken by Peter Curran. So Geelong all fired up.
When you play for keeps in these finals,
sure thing. Curran's kick wide to half forward. Marking contest up there. It's a clean mark for Dunstall. And Dunstall will have Hawthorn's first crack at goal from about 40 metres.
We'll see this on replay. I would have had the ruckman Burke dropping back to block it up on that occasion, but he was waiting back with Deere, the Hawthorn ruckman. But you've got to get fellows down at the drop of the ball.
Opportunity for the Hawks to square the ledger. Dunstall, the early minutes. Drop punt kick is true.
Well, the score's locked away. And what a sensational start we've had. Jason Dunstall, the glamourful forward, his first. His last outing, he kicked 6 goals against Essendon, but he is a very strong player and a very, very quick lead.
Dermot Brereton. Interesting. Schultz hasn't gone back. Hocking now. Standing with the Hawthorn champion. So we're back in the middle. Good bounce too. Burke wins it down. Right of the congestion. Domenico falls on top of it. Slaps it out. Burke scrambles it forward. Kennedy the opportunity. Sweeping hand pass over the top. Sends Pritchard away. Down towards full forward. Brereton the test here. He's taken the mark. What a courageous mark.
It's on centre wing.
Well, that was a fitness test for Dermot Brereton. He went back and he took it. A bit happening, as you can see.
This is going to be the order of the day. I thought it might have started earlier than now, but what a great mark you called it, Dennis.
Dermot Brereton, as always, relishing being in the thick of things. down in the first 15 seconds of the game. A chance to kick Hawthorn's second goal from 25 metres out. Through.
And that's how you show the opposition. Once you're injured, Dermot Brereton didn't. He did it on the scoreboard. A courageous effort. Just wonder how badly he is injured. Because he doesn't usually go down the way he did it after that first bounce, but what a courageous effort there. Darcy concerned with Dunstall on that occasion.
Burke gets the tap out in the centre. Tuck can't quite control the ball. Now he does so. The hand pass goes wide. Condon on the run into the pocket. The kick goes over the top of Brereton and Hocking. Into the pocket proper now. Dunstall can't control it. Darcy the first to recover, and Brereton's in the action. Down goes Darcy. A free kick to the Geelong player, and it was a crude effort there by Brereton. Players over the boundary line.
Well, at least he's going to make them pay for it. He's injured. He's got to go off. I suppose he's going to take one or two scalps with him. And this is exactly what Geelong were looking for, just a little altercation and it'll be on, as it's already been on the centre wing.
And Don, a couple of years ago, Geelong and Hawthorn figured in a rather nasty game where he was...
well, two of those players that figured in that, Bruns and Stephen Hocking, are out there today.
The kick by Darcy towards centre wing. The high flyer from behind is Deer, and he takes a good mark. A short right foot chip into the centre, and the mark is taken by Kennedy. He's looking to play on, forced to kick with the left foot into the pocket. He's down as he kicks it, and the free kick downfield will be taken by Curran, well within scoring distance.
Well, actually, that was a stupid kick on that occasion by Gary Hocking. It was a stupid kick. Geelong have got a man up. They're a little bit loose at this stage.
And a little excited too, the Cats. This was the doubt. So Curran, difficult angle, well within scoring distance. Magnificent kick by Curran, Hawthorn third.
Well, you can't afford to do what Gary Hocking has done. He's given away more free kicks this year than anybody else in the VFL. And really, that was a stupid play. Now, Brereton in the hands of the doctor. That's Terry Gay on the left, former Hawthorn full back, and a great centre-half forward as well. He's the club doctor, so Brereton not too good.
We're back in the middle. Just over 20 and a half minutes remaining in this first quarter. Chance for Hocking. This is Anderson over the ball. Still he goes back to Hocking. Gets the hand pass away. Bairstow from half forward. Long down forward. Brownless is there. Off his hands. Collins dragged off it. Brownless an opportunity. Wide runs up. Claimed by McGuinness. Ablett put down. Ears pressed into him. Clayton gets the hand pass away. Ball out towards half back. And we'll have a ball up.
It's on again. Now that's what Ayres
pumped by Ayres.
My word. Well, that's his stock in trade, and he fixed Ablett right up, took his eye off the ball, and went for the man.
Pritchard boots it towards centre wing. He got a free kick. Schultz over the top, fisting away. It's out of bounds and will be thrown in. There's the champ, runner-up in this year's Brownlow. John Platten, boundary throw-in, centre wing. Ablett shaking off the cobwebs. Burke. Brilliantly, decisively behind the pack. It's taken by Voss. A long kick down towards full forward. Brownlow will make the mark. Play on is the call. McGuinness, the hand pass out wide. Collins free. He swings it to the other side. Kennedy's got the run of it. He storms towards centre wing. Uses it wide. Buckenara with Condon inside. Will pull it back towards the pocket. Condon is still running down the ground. Dunstall's got it. Condon's on in the middle. Dunstall's turned around too slowly. And will hold play up in the pocket.
Terrific Dunstall in front of his face. Running at full speed. Dunstall will kick from 45 metres. Hard up against the boundary line. Jason Dunstall, drop punt kick. Oh, hits the post. Well, it was nearly perfect. Dunstall has kicked one goal. Brereton has kicked one and Curran one. And Gary Ablett has kicked the Cats' only goal.
Mark Yates will have to tighten up. He's on the half-forward flank, but John Kennedy again initiated that attack into the forward line for Hawthorn.
Darcy to the Members side. Tippy Domenico can't mark. Recovers quickly. Gets his kick away. The ball runs free at centre half forward. Condon gathers. The hand pass. Whitman into Anderson. He goes for goal and pops it through.
Well, Hawthorn are going for the ball and are starting to pay dividends
Yes, an excellent start by the Hawks. That is the first time you've seen that. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've never had enough guts to watch it, to be honest. Oh, yeah, it was just one of those...
Only a couple of little things, Malcolm, wasn't it? I mean, you look back at that, the Steve Hocking when he was down there on Dermot.
Just carried him by an inch. And
yep.
Billy's just almost got a mark and they race it down the moon. Yeah,
a couple of matchups.
Yeah, we just... Peter Curran was a bit hard to match up at 6'3". We just didn't quite have a defender like that, but... No, I never really watched it. I think the moment for Geelong to get back into a grand final, to lose by a kick at the end of the day, there were some terrific manful things done on the day from both sides, and the only thing I remember about it is that the following year we paid the penalty because we had 6 blokes in hospital, which we didn't mention anything about for a couple of years, and Hawthorn...
Well, they would have had a few too.
They had half a dozen in hospital too, so it was really one of those very, very crunchy games that I suppose people remember as a great grand final.
Do you think you ever will sit down and watch the whole game?
Probably not. Perhaps when I'm old and got nothing else to do, I will.
Do you see that? I mean, is that an opportunity that's gone begging for you as a coach and the team?
I think every time.
I mean, some may say, well, there was Blight's chance to win a flag. If ever he had a chance, and Geelong, that could have been it. I know you've been in the grand final since then.
Yeah, I think that Hawthorn, that was probably the last of the dynasty. You know, they won in 88 and 89, they'd won 5 for the decade, and we just almost got them, but they were good enough to win it. The only thing I think about, and it's true, that, I mean, the siren beat us, really.
Yeah.
You know, really it's the timekeeper's fault. You couldn't blame anybody else for the game other than them blowing the time too early. For another 3 minutes, we might have won it.
People can't get it right, can they?
No, but I've got a headache thinking about it all the time, I can tell you.
Well, look, there are lots of positives to come out of the series for Geelong, none the least of which was the gentleman who wore number 5. I mean, just a fantastic series. And before we talk to Malcolm about that performance, let's have a look at Gary Ablett in action in that final series.
And laconically, Bruce Linder turns onto it. And a magnificent mark taken by Ablett.
Runs his kick inside 50. Huge pack of players. Ablett. Well, has he come down with that mark? That is an amazing grab.
Free kick being kicked out of it to Stoneham. It's against Dersner. Stoneham's kick into the forward pocket. Ablett. Oh! How do you describe that? Brilliant. Miraculous stuff by Gary Ablett. Forecast just a few minutes earlier. Ablett goes for goal. Magnificent kick.
13 points the difference after that goal kick by David Cameron down to half forward. Ablett again, creating opportunities. 25 metres out, 10 metres out, and beats it.
Pulls it back. Ablett will come in from the side out of the contest. He did the right thing. He kept his composure well. To midfield and Burke. He plays on. Kick towards centre half forward. Ablett's in front. Strong mark. Wonderful mark. Ablett wasting no time. Around Hamilton. Goes inside 50. Gets his second goal. Magic.
Geelong are pumped up. Bruns. Short to half forward. Ablett.
Ball is still running Essendon's way. On his knees, Watson. Bailey coming to meet him. Stoneham, brilliantly played. Shovels it out to accommodate Ablett. Ablett decides to run down towards the 50. Goes long, it's bending back. That is a magnificent goal. A great game. Runs hard against the boundary line. Pulls it back towards the pocket. Over the top. Here's who. Stoneham behind the pack. Ablett in the pocket. I don't believe it. Feeds the hand pass to Bairstow. Bairstow goes down towards half forward. Ablett. That's a party trick, not a mark. One down by Flanagan that time with the backhand. Hughes comes away. There's the time remaining. The Cats are looking better. Hughes goes long down towards the pocket. Ablett. Oh, what a mark.
Well, that's what we came to see, Dennis.
Cleared by Hawthorn to Geelong in 1983. We come back to Hawthorn. Check side check. Oh, nonchalant.
Flanagan now doing the ruck work against Deere. Ablett over the top. Snapshot by Gary Ablett. This is close. Oh, it is mercurial stuff.
This is Gary Hocking, freed by the tribunal to play in this game earlier in the week. In fact, they never got that far. And Ablett gets around Lidner. Unloads into the forward line yet again. Kennedy in front. Ablett over the top. Oh, what a mark. Lidner breaks away from half back. His second back.
with it. Goes long down towards the pocket. Ablett is there, almost a one-hander. Finds it on the ground. From 25, he's kicked it. His 8th goal.
Bruns goes for goal. Brownless at the back. Ablett! Here goes Ablett for goal number 9, and he's threaded it.
Yes, I think it was 27 he finished with. Wonderful series. You're a very gifted player. When you look at someone like Gary Ablett, I mean, does he take your breath away?
Yeah, he does. He's one of those players with that uncanny sense on the football ground, and yeah, I mean, some of the stuff that I've seen him do has been very, very special, and the Geelong people have been very fortunate.
From a coach's point of view, what do you see as his greatest asset? I mean, you could see it now. He's a wonderful reader of the game. His goal-kicking ability is uncanny. His marking is sensational.
I think that the first thing I noticed about Gary when I first got to Geelong was that quickness. I mean, it was almost like a true cat. And he had this great pace off the mark with great ability to change direction. And I think it was just that fantastic agility that he had.
You've played in a couple of fair games, you know. One was back in 1976, wasn't it?
Gee, that is a long time ago, isn't it now?
Well, we're going to take a break and then we're going to come back and see M. Blight in action in a rib tickler in 1976. 1976, we go out to Princes Park for another absolute pearl of a game. At three-quarter time in the game between Carlton and North Melbourne, Carlton led 9-9-63. The Kangaroos were 6-12-48. And with some 20 minutes gone in the final quarter, North Melbourne was really looking down the barrel because they trailed by 14 points.
11 goals, 10-76, Carlton to North Melbourne, 8-14-62. We're waiting now for a short pass over to Cable. He's got the mark. North Melbourne still in business, not getting that goal for Carlton. Oh, a hand pass. And Nick's got the ball now. Runs to the, just about to the centre of the ground. Drives it up the centre half forward. Oh, Pennell, no, he's dropped it. Smith's got it now. He's broken clear, but as he puts Melrose under pressure, and Pennell takes it right away from him. And back it goes towards Carlton centre half forward position. Nicely grabbed by Ick, but he's in plenty of trouble. Finally, he breaks clear. Gets the ball wide out towards that wing position. Punched away again by Schimmelbusch out towards the boundary, and it will be out of bounds on the centre wing position with North Melbourne still trailing by 14 points, and we've played 21 minutes this quarter. The ball back into play again, knocked away by Cable. A good knockout as it comes back, picked up by Melrose down. Melrose, and he'll take on the half forward line.
He got tripped and got around the neck as well, Louis. So he got the double in there, Melrose. Can North capitalise on it? Melrose kicks. Right almost to the edge of the goal square. McClure goes up there. The ball knocked over the line. And there'll be a throw in North Melbourne's forward pocket on the northern side. Pressure right on the Carlton backmen now. Moore coming in there with Jones. There they go. Jones taps it down here towards Keogh. Keogh has grabbed. He'll get a free kick, I'd reckon. No doubt about that. Trevor Keogh to take the free kick in that back pocket. Played some magnificent football, Trevor Keogh, today. Here he comes. He'll come along the northern flank, I'd reckon. Be dangerous to go elsewhere. There's the kick. Miles Mackay is moving into position. Keenan goes in and knocks it cleverly away. Zantuck couldn't get the run of the ball. Chesnell gets it over to Zantuck. Zantuck screws around, kicks in towards the goal. It bounces, but here's Bill once again. It carries it through for one behind. So the scoreboard now reads at the 22-minute mark. Carlton 11-10-76, North Melbourne 8-15-63. The ball's in play. It goes across there to Austin between the half-back flank and back pocket on the southern side. Cooley, he plays it in towards Jack O'Connell, the regular back pocket player. Carlton, the real pros, know when to steady down, when to put the pressure on. 23 minutes gone. Into the centre it goes. Southby comes out and takes the mark in front of Stevenick. Southby, a long hand pass. Right over there into no man's land. He's looking for Keogh. He finds him all right, but Keogh almost messed that up. Coming through like a train was Keith Street, but he didn't have the ball. And down they go. Ick has got hold of the ball there. Higgins is with him, and there could be a ball up on the half-forward flank for Carlton on the outer or southern side.
Yeah, ball up on that half-forward line, about 80 metres out from the Carlton goal. They're starting to look steady again, Carlton. Knocked out by Keenan, grabbed by Melrose. A hand pass over to Hick. Hick's going to have a bounce. He couldn't quite make up his mind that time. He still can't make up his mind. He's just bouncing that pretty awkward as he drives the ball up towards Blight and to McClure. A beautiful mark to Blight. Not about this bloke when he gets his hands through. They're certainly sticky. He's taken 10 marks for the day. We wait now for Blight to have his shot from about 70 metres out from goal. The kick is a good one, I'd say. It's a goal, and North Melbourne are back in business. That's Blight's third goal, and North Melbourne go to 9 goals, 15. 69 points to Carlton, 11-10, 76.
25 minutes of the final quarter gone. 7 points the difference.
Oh, golly.
In favour of Carlton this time for the Kangaroos. And the crowd going mad here at Princes Park. Oh boy, here's the bounce, there they go. Ball not clear by Keenan, taken there by Coll. In comes Jones once again. The ball goes over to Keith Briggs. He won't get his kick in. He does, but it's a hurried one. Look at this, Dawson's got it. In comes Austin. It's Pennell of Carlton. It's a high one by Pennell. Racing for it there is McConnell. He spells the mark. Oh, no free kick to North Melbourne. Through comes Melrose. Melrose goes to the half-forward flank. He's looking for Chisnell. Chisnell pushes the ball in front of him. He's well shepherded. Chisnell into the forward zone. Blight is going shot. And Blight's taken it. 7 points the difference. 26 minutes gone. And Blight would be 40 metres out. But he's on a very, very difficult angle. It's on its way. It's a banana kick. It's close. He's got three. He's got three. Score at the 26-minute mark in the final quarter. Here at Princes Park 3. Carlton 11-10-76. North Melbourne 10-15-75. A point the difference coming up to the 27-minute mark.
Here they go again for the last bout. What's happened here now? Waiting on the umpire to make a decision. What's happened? Sending the runners up and the trainer off the ground. Only a point the difference. And we've played 26 minutes of this quarter. North Melbourne right back in business. Can they get this extra goal to win this match? They looked as though they were gone. And now they're within a point. The bounce, up it goes. Knocked out by Keenan. Down it comes again. A chance for Dawson to pick it up. Griggs going after. Pennell gets a kick out wide, out towards the wing position. Racing after is Pennell. Pennell's got it out there on that wing position. Drives the ball around. And a mark to burn. North Melbourne hanging on to get that valuable goal at the moment to give them a lead as they trail by 1 point. The ball back and a mark here now to Melrose. North Melbourne's chances live again as we see Melrose take the ball back out wide towards the half-forward. I don't see Pennell there to take the mark. And Pennell subdues the attack once again for Carlton.
Pennell about to put Carlton right into attack on that southern or outer side. There's the kick. It's a beautiful kick too. Carlton hanging on by 1 point. Mackay goes up, but it's Crackers Keenan who's taken the mark. Keenan there on the half-back flank. He goes in. Oh, this could be dangerous. McConnell goes up there. Didn't quite pull down the mark. Halloran's got it. Halloran gets it across here. No kick, however, to Armstrong. Through they come. Chance for Ick. Ick tries a long hand pass over here. It's Keenan. Back it goes to Carlton. Carlton of North Melbourne. Up towards the wing position on the outer side. Pennell knocks the ball clear. But in comes Gumberland. Gumberland tries a hand pass. It's picked up here by Dawson. Dawson of North Melbourne up towards centre-half forward. There's no mark in. That's Carlton Blight once again. Carlton Blight has got the ball at centre-half forward. 28 minutes gone. The crowd's gone mad. There's the siren's gone. No, Blight will have to take his kick. Now Blight would have to kick this. Oh, he'd have to kick it 85, 90 metres. But he's going to have a kick, all right. It's not over yet. Not over yet. What drama here at Princes Park. Malcolm Blight, it's a big kick. It's a massive kick. North have won it. Oh, that's incredible. The final scoreboard reads North Melbourne 11-10-76. Carlton, I beg your pardon, let's start again. Carlton 11-10-76. North Melbourne 11-15-81.
Yeah, she showed us a bit of everything there. 11-10-76.
No, you've done a couple of things you'd probably rather not see, but I'm sure, you know, we've all made mistakes, haven't we, to be honest?
I invented some, though.
So did I. Say no more. Let's have a look at a couple here, Malcolm, then we'll have a chat about them.
The names may change year by year, but the drama of league football remains the same. As Melb found out on this dreadful day against Hawthorn. When Blight came in for this free kick after the siren, North trailed by 1 point.
I think the siren has gone, Louis. I think so. I'm not too sure.
Jack, we'll see what he does with this kick. The siren may have gone.
Hope he doesn't miss.
Here he goes now. It'll be a dead if he missed the kick. He's kicked it out of bounds.
That's what I thought should have happened before. I meant that.
And Hawthorn have won the game. Spencer, one over here to McCann. This could be a goal. Now it's back to Blight for goal number 4. He couldn't miss this. He's run the... I think he might have put that through for a point. He's run the wrong way. It's unbelievable. He thought that was the goal. He really still thinks it now. Look, it is unbelievable because I was dumbfounded.
What were you thinking?
Actually, I reckon that the time today has been fantastic. And is my time up about now?
Just about. What were you thinking then? No, seriously.
Oh, what happened?
Because even after you kicked it, you still felt it was a goal, didn't you?
Yeah, I used to line up the goal umpire when I was having a shot for goal, and Steve McCann handballed to me, and I got a bit of a shock to get the handball, and I saw the goal umpire must have been on the goalpost, and he moved across, and I just lost concentration, and I thought he moved aside for me to kick the goal. I couldn't believe it.
A couple of other points just before you go. Some may construe your coaching tactics at times unusual and different. Why, for example, did you have the players with towels on their heads walking around the swimming pool? Have I got the story correct?
Oh, almost. It was really just to think about what might happen, and it was a pretty cold day in Geelong, and we just tried to just say, look, what you're expecting might happen didn't happen. We actually didn't go in the pool, and sometimes you just look for a bit of an edge. Sometimes you line up and get bagged, but sometimes you win and sometimes you lose.
And lastly, the Guard of Honour in Adelaide. What did you think of that? Was the radio on the blink going down the highway to Cardinia Park or something one day? What happened?
Oh, no, I've already said that. It was a mini-final, we thought, and with no disrespect to the Crows, it was really trying to get our guys sort of just to focus in on a very big game.
Malcolm, it's great you could join us today on a serious note. All the best this time next Sunday for a big game against Collingwood, and we wish you well for the remainder of the season.
Thanks very much, Sandy.
Malcolm Blight, one of our special guests today on our No Football Sunday. Take a break, and coming up, more action, including the great goals of days gone by.
The football for 1969. The run and goal of the preliminary final, Kevin Bartlett. Watch him go.
He walks in, goes round open. Beautiful football. And puts it right into the square. Oh, look at this! He's put it through!
White gets it up towards centre-half forward. The players hit themselves. Jesselenko couldn't hold it, but he butters up as usual. Jesselenko down forward. Here's a go for the Blues. Big John there. And if this will go through... Oh, he'd have to kick it 85, 90 metres. But he's going to have a kick, all right. It's not over yet. Not over yet. What drama here at Princes Park. Malcolm Blight, it's a big kick. It's a massive kick.
Blight's there. Also McRae for Collingwood. Gordon trying to get it out, which he does, towards Manasseh. Manasseh the drive. Collingwood deep to take Gage for a run. Almost towards the half-forward line. He is now. He's gone 50 metres. Takes the handball. No, feigns the handball. He won't give it Manasseh. He's going to check the goal. And he's put it through. He's put it through. By golly. What an individual effort. That's going to be the goal of the century.
Looking for Matthews. Sutton hot on his hammer. Lee Matthews looking for someone to give it to. There's no one there. Matthews will have to go around himself. He goes around three players. Rise up the goal. Beautiful.
The whistle has sounded once again. The free kick this time going the way of St Kilda as the ironical cheers come up. There's a booming torpedo kick from Ferring to full forward. Byrne gives it over to Toomey. Toomey from the half-back line. Backs his pace and judgment. Went for a bounce and backs his luck too. Got it back on the second time. The third time he just got it back. Will he try another one? He's going to have a shot for goal. It's going to be a great goal if he gets it. It's a great goal.
Off the back, Ian then Curtis once more. Doing a great job. Well smothered though by Bazasto. Picks it up and has a snapshot at goal. And has put it through.
Getting it back there to Morgan. Over to Buse. Here he comes, a little rover. Oh, bad luck. He crashed his way. He's got it again. Oh, boy. He hooks it back. Don't tell me he's going to score a goal. That is the goal of the year.
Went down too. There's Phil Cracker on the boundary line. Look at him scoop. He'll get away here from Donnell. Left him for dead. Beautiful play. As there's a running shot at goal. He might have got this one. A goal. What a goal.
Puts it onto the left foot down towards full forward.
A chance now for Larkin. Going to run into trouble. He's got to beat three of them, and he has. He snaps it. He sticks it. As Burke leaves the ground. Ablett couldn't take the mark. Oh, he's a light, Gary Ablett. Look at this. Here is the magician at work. He shoots towards goal. What more can you say?
Lyon dodging and weaving. Oh, smothered off the boot by Nixon was great play. Hamilton now on the back line. Now it's Ross Lyon onto the left foot. Could have given a hand pass, but he elects to kick it goal. I think he's put it through.
He's quick kick. Colin, will he take right on? Yes, he does. I thought he would. One bounce. Oh, another bounce. Left foot. Look at this. A marvellous kick. He's put them in front. That's as good as you'll ever see.
Over the top cloak. Some spring there. Knocked on by Smith. Taken by Mitchell. Some speed here. Look at him go. Mitchell, a third bounce. He's running towards the 50. Oh, he wants to kick a goal. No question about that. What will he do it? I want a goal, Michael Mitchell says to himself. Oh, great effort. The play on is the Coll. Eagles everywhere. Lewis fends off Russell. He's hard against the boundary line. That is a magic goal. That is a magic goal.
On the boundary line. Back to Mullane, likewise. Takeoff. Nearly runs out of room. He's goal!
Goes as hard as he can. Bennett in good position now. Offhand. Jakovic! Oh, sensational! Demon into the breeze. Dacos stays down at the back. Knocked away by Keys. Here's the magician. Near the boundary line. 30 metres out, Peter Dacos. 3 kicks. 3 goals!
Only as far as the half-back line. White, probably the first mistake he's made. But, oh, look at the skills of White. And a short little pass. May have been better to go longer, but he's followed it up. Picked it up now. Eluded one player. Shoots in towards goal. There is a magical piece of football. Goes a little too far. Dacos at the back. Can he produce something special here? Oh, yes, he can.
He might too if he goes to torpedo. Yes! Have a look at this.
Chance perhaps again for the Eagles. Was there a nudge? Langdon. Oh, he's kicked another miraculous goal.
Smothered. Gotten had it slapped away. Matera with the outside of the boot, if you don't mind.
Collingwood lead by 8 points. They're going to get the ball away from the centre again through Montfort. And McGuan gets past Brown. They're lifting the pie. They can sense it. First 15 minutes ordinary, but since then they've been good. McGuan's had 5 bounces. Still he get another one. Round he goes. In he goes to an open goal. Bill Barker! Stuffed by McGuan. Goal of the year.
Yes, we'll have to wait and see if it is, in fact, goal of the year. But like the marks, weren't there some classical goals? We've got some great action still to come. And if I asked you who were the great characters of our game, I'm sure you could reel off a list. Well, after the break, we'll be meeting one of the truly great characters of AFL. Beat him once again. Let's have a look at one of the great State of Origin games, because, of course, State of Origin football is coming our way this Tuesday night. Let's go back to the 17th of July, 1984. 42,500 fans at Subiaco, and it was Western Australia 16-12-108, leading Victoria 14-8-92. Well, with some 8 minutes remaining, WA leads by 3 points as we go to the action now.
It's been a great quarter and a magnificent quarter of footy, and the Vicks will be complimented, but I'm going to stick with this. I said all day that I think we'd win. I thought it'd be a bit easier than this.
Comment from Alfred Brown as Rioli comes in, targeting his foot to the ball. Jared Williams has got it in the back pocket, boots it out towards the half-back flank, and he's put it out of play. Some tired players out there on both sides. Brian Peake will take it.
26-minute mark, isn't it?
Yes, no, just coming onto the 25-minute mark.
135 to 132.
And there won't be much time on as Brian Peake kicks from about the 50-metre line. The Sandover medalist puts it into the square. There's plenty of players up. And it's punched through for another point. That's 4 points of difference in favour of Western Australia.
Let's see how quickly they try and play on, Bob.
So WA at 2016, 136. Victoria 2012, 132. Kick into play on a fine diving mark to Merritt. Merritt, a quick hand pass off to Green. The Green puts it up high. Victoria a chance now through Ayres. Ayres a long kick into the forward line. That player Healy had nowhere to go as Craig Holden clears back into the centre. Ackley from behind. The chance there for Victoria through 25. Turner. A high kick. Tuck. Not paid. Ball to the ground. Purser.
Oh, throw.
And he's deemed a throw, the umpire. And Michael Tuck to take the kick.
Well, you better hurry because this could be the last scoring opportunity.
4 points the difference. Tuck goes short. And it's a good kick to Green.
Bad defensive play there, Mal.
Yes. Green can score from there because he'll only be 50 metres out and the breeze won't be a factor. They trail by 4 points, Victoria. Cannot be much time to go. Green's kick is off to the side. They're into the air. Madden, has he been paid? He hasn't. Craig Holden with the left foot around the boundary line. And Wayne Blackwell and Turner see that ball out of bounds.
Boy, was Wayne Blackwell pleased to see the boundary.
Gee whiz. 2016, 136 to 2012, 132.
There's not many forwards in WA's forward line.
Taylor to Blackwell. Blackwell over Malaxis's head. This is Leon Baker. Baker goes into the middle of the ground. Daniels under that, but a great mark taken by Doug Hawkins.
Now it's got to come back before. I don't know, but it's got to come back at the centre of the ground. This could be the last chance. Gary Ayres is going to take it, I think, right in the middle of the ground.
Someone left to take a mark.
Last forward thrust for Victoria. Craig Holden tries to emerge. In there as well was Johnston. Let's have a look. 28 minutes into the final quarter. WA 2016, 136. Victoria 2012, 132. The race on here between Ablett and Hardy. Hardy takes it towards the boundary line. That could be dangerous.
Oh, he couldn't play that mark.
But the umpire has said throw it in.
Two great players down there. Ablett and Hardy as a throw in on the left half forward flank. There's not much time left in this game. Australian Championships coming up to the winner. Wiley kicks it out and goes to Pete. He's got no lead. He kicks it back to the centre. Glendinning's there. Can't get it. Dumped away. Dip here to Menico. Boots it back towards half forward. Grants is there. Oh, he can't get it out. Chris Mew can. Boots it towards the forward pocket. And there's a great mark to Wayne Johnston. Johnston is about... No, it's not. It's Gerard Healy. And he has already kicked 5.
He'll be king.
Yes, he could win the game for Victoria. He'll kick just inside the 50-metre line.
Real hard kick from there.
Pressure kick from Gerard Healy. Kicking towards the city end of the ground. He's kicked it across, I think. Big pack of players up there. Simon Madden. What's he done with it? He put it out of bounds on the ball. And the big crowd breathe again.
You cannot believe this game. It's 30 minutes into the final quarter. There is 4 points the difference. 136 to 132. And there are tired players on both sides as they desperately wait for the siren. It'll be Gavin Carter to bring it in for WA. And that's a lovely long kick. Way out. Knocked into the open spaces. Taken by Blackwell. Blackwell with the left foot up to half forward. It's over Danaher's head. Back they go. Off the ground for Western Australia by Taylor. Into their forward pocket. And going for it is Perth. That's 31 minutes into the final quarter. 2016, 136 WA. 2012, 132 Victoria. Throw in. Side bottom. Taylor. Caught. Dropped the ball. Yes, he did. And it's Pert's kick.
There's too long, Kevin Taylor and Gary Pert. The young fullback playing pretty well out there at the moment. He's got the kick between half-back. Oh, beautiful kick from Pert. Puts it right down towards the centre. Plenty of players up. And the back is Malaxis, the skipper. He's having trouble too. Gets his foot to the ball. Puts it up towards half-forward of Blackwell. Over it comes to Baker. He boots a long one. Glendinning's high in the air. Can't get it. He's still in it. Glendinning screws it back. He can't screw it back far enough, and the ball's gone out of play, and we're just on the 30.5-minute mark.
So it's in the left full-back pocket for Victoria, and it'll be Doug Hawkins to bring it back into play. Out to the 50-metre line. They set. Bizzusto. He's down to Leon Baker. Baker, a high kick into the forward line. Side bottom in front, and the mark. The hand pass out to Daniels. This looks slow enough, and Daniels has put it through. Kevin Taylor tapped it down to him. Daniels has stuck it through for Claremont. And I don't know. but it's a 32-minute mark with WA now leading 21-16, 142, 10 points in front. I reckon Taylor may have even marked that. There's the replay. Daniels has popped it through, and now Brownie, WA, 10 points ahead.
Well, side bottom, a great fly there, and Alan Daniels certainly picks up the crumbs. 142 to 132, but the big straight's not over yet. It's Russell Green. No, it's not. It's Bernie Evans. Boots along on the Woods full forward. Looking for Merritt down there. Ball, Madden. And a bounce down to take place.
It's amazing. Kevin Taylor can't get a game in Melbourne, and every time he comes over here, he's involved in a goal wins the game.
Just on the 32-minute mark in the final quarter. Craig Holden. Wiley throwing himself on the ball. Picked up by Ablett. He's spread it in towards full. He's kicked another one. That's his 8th. And a great snap, Gary Ablett.
Well, there's just not enough time now. I think that WA's very, 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 very important goal, that last one, which Alan Daniels went into an open goal. I really think the time has beat Victoria. Gallant, magnificent. Well, how many goals kicked for the quarter? About 6? Yeah, 6 or 7.
21-16, 142 WA. There can't be much time. 21-12 Victoria. The chance for them through Tuck. Take the half forward. Siren's gone. And in almost a repetition of last year, Western Australia has defeated a gallant Victorian side. 21-16, 142 to Victoria's 21-12, 138. And I tell you what, Brownie, you couldn't have got a better finish.
No, you couldn't. It was a truly great game, and some magnificent performances. It was great that the game did end up this way. It looked at one stage that WA were going to really be far too strong early, but the Victorians, magnificent. I suppose we can all be benevolent when you've won, but I thought they were a magnificent fight back, and the home crowd, I think, really did in the end have an influence on the side winning.
Yes, a wonderful State of Origin clash with Western Australia successful. Gary Sidebottom finished the day with 6. Best on ground was Ross Glendinning. The Simpson medal went to Brad Hardy, while for Victoria, Gary Ablett, you saw him kick number 8. And, of course, he finished with 8 goals for the day. And if you were very observant, you would have seen a sign at the top of one of the stands that simply read, Jacko for PM. We'll take a break.